Good evening, listeners. It's me, your host, Ramblingramm. I'm here with some more stories to scare, shock, and horrify you. Or possibly, just possibly, let you know what's really out there in the dark. Enjoy, listeners. The People in the Forest by Moony Panda. Ever since I was young, I never liked eyes. They always scared me. The thought of something watching me. Whether they were the eyes of people in paintings, the eyes of my stuffed animals, or even my own eyes in my reflection. I could never get past them. Eyes. I'd been 13 when I first moved to this shitty town in the middle of nowhere that we call Florida. A town called Palm Bay. This town at one point had been declared the drinking and smoking capital of not just Florida, but the entire United States. The place was filled with woods, with miles between anything, really. It was a 15-minute car ride just to my middle school, and that was the closest one in the area. The town had, and still does, always give me a creepy feeling. I feel like through all these woods there is something watching me at any given time. I always feel like something is just waiting to catch me off guard and to drag me into the nothing. That being said, I stay the fuck away from the forest as much as I can, but it was when I was 14 that I started seeing them. Every so often, out of the corners of my eyes, I would just see black figures, but the second my vision cleared and I looked where it was, they were gone. Every time. While I was on the bus one time, I saw one that looked much taller than anyone I'd seen before, and I asked the boy next to me if he had seen it too. But he in turn just ignored me and kept watching YouTube on his phone. I looked around at everyone else, but all I was met with were kids too busy talking to their friends, or my usual bullies looking at me as if they wanted me dead. The black figures had stopped then, as if they knew I was starting to catch on to them. I decided to look them up, and apparently a lot of people see them, and there are a lot of theories, such as the multiverse theory. It states that there are parallel universes all coexisting at the same time, and that when you see these figures, it's just our universes crossing over. I think it's bullshit. But now, we come to about a year ago. I had just turned 16. My mum bought me a car, and life seemed pretty awesome. I had just begun my first year of college because my mum made me enter the dual enrollment program, because Lord knows we weren't going to be able to afford college. But that's when they came back, those damned black figures. I'd been so sleep-deprived from my mix of high school and college work that I didn't even know what was real or not. But I know they are real. I would see them in the forest as I drove by the street lights, even in my classrooms. I had to tell someone, but no one believed me. They all said that I was seeing things, and that they don't exist. But then, why the fuck do I keep seeing them? It was halfway through the year that I started hearing voices that seemed like they didn't belong to anyone. But I just blew it off as a consequence of little to no sleep. until they started muttering my name. The first time one of those things called my name, I was so scared I dropped my textbooks and looked around, but there was nothing. It was 9 a.m. and not a single person around me, but I felt the eyes on me. I knew the eyes were watching me. I know the eyes are watching me. Come to present day, I just turned 17 in April, and about a month before that the voices have started to get worse. I heard one in my car while I was driving home from high school. I don't even know what it said, but I swerved into the other lane and almost hit someone. I started hearing them in my bedroom, in my living room, in my classrooms. They're fucking everywhere, and I just can't escape. I know they're watching me. I know the eyes are after me. I can feel them watching me as I write this. Maybe you feel them too. Run, by, and hiding. Every summer since I was little, my family has spent most of August in a cabin we own in the woods. It's not exactly a kid's ideal vacation, considering there's no TV or video games, but we made do. It's been a family tradition for years. So after my parents died, I inherited the cabin. It was a welcome surprise, considering I'd always loved exploring the woods, even though I'd miss a lack of electronic entertainment. As part of handling their estate, I decided to spend a week in the cabin, getting it ready for my siblings when they showed up for the annual retreat the week after. It took me hours every day, and my body was so sore, but I was finally finished. Everything was perfect, just like I remembered. My brother and sister would have their best retreat yet. In the memory of Mum and Dad, I decided to stay with them, kind of do a family mourning thing. They arrived on a Friday evening, around 7 p.m. My brother in his fancy car, and my sister in her Jeep. She'd brought her new boyfriend with her, even though this was supposed to be family only. When I mentioned it, she told me to stop being uptight, my brother backing her up. Thankfully, I prepared plenty, so there was enough for our unexpected guest. We had barbecue that night, sitting around a fire while we ate. My sister was too wrapped up in hugging on her boyfriend to even talk to me, and my brother was griping about lack of cell service. Definitely not how I imagined this week starting. The next morning, my sister's boyfriend was gone. No trace left behind. She spent all day yelling for him and searching the woods, trying to find him. His stuff was left behind, but he was just gone. Such a shame, too. Despite being uninvited, he was a nice guy. Even apologized for intruding on a family thing. That night I made barbecue again. Dad had taught me how to make an amazing sauce, and how to grill the meat just right so it was tender and falling off the bone. My sister only had a little bit, since she was still worried about her boyfriend. I told her not to worry. He'd probably gotten bored and left. It wasn't too far to town after all. maybe an hour's walk. Come Sunday morning, my brother was gone too. Like the boyfriend, all his stuff was still there, but he wasn't. By now my sister was hysterical, worrying that somebody had kidnapped them. I told her she was being absurd, that we were too close to town, and even then the place had been locked up. Still, we spent all day looking, to no avail. The last of the barbecue was gone that night. Monday morning, I was the only one left. Whistling softly as I made breakfast, I ate in peace, enjoying the solitude. Once I'd finished and washed up the dishes, I decided it was time, moving the large rug aside in the living room. I unlocked the door to the cellar, walking down the stairs with a little hop in my step. After all, I was in a good mood, so why not be a little silly? In the cellar, I rounded the corner to where I'd chained up my siblings. The boyfriend's remains laid out on a table before them. I'm sure he would have been happy to know you liked the barbecue. Such a sweet guy. I barely had to season him at all. Opening a cupboard, I pulled out a pistol holster, locking it into place, sliding the handgun in. I pulled out a rifle next, slinging it over my shoulder. I tossed the keys to my brother, stopping to take a bite from the boyfriend. I've really outdone myself with that sauce. Looking back to my siblings, I laughed softly, putting the rifle into my hands. Run. I headed up the stairs after that, leaving the cellar door open. Sure, they could try to get in the cars and run for it. My brother did. Saved me the trouble putting him on the grill. Dad was right though. Fear makes the meat tender. Might explain why he and Mum tasted so good. But my sister, she's no woodsman. Or would that be woodswoman? Doesn't matter. She'll do fine when my brother's leftovers are gone. Dinner is much more fun when it runs. We have our first user-submitted story. Sleep Paralysis by Angelina, phage. Have you ever experienced sleep paralysis? Have you ever experienced a dream so real that when something off-putting appeared, it led to sleep paralysis? Well, I have, and I still do. But nothing could compare to the experience I had a few months ago. My sister just got back from her retreat. 3 days. A requirement from our Catholic private school at this retreat house in a village far from city grounds. I was next, but that would be in a few months. When my sister got back, I was ecstatic because we had catching up to do, but decided on talking in the morning, as she was tired and I was tired. Being the lazy bum I am, I decided to sleep on the living room couch, which is long and comfy as hell. Amidst me halfway falling asleep, I feel someone moving behind me and moving the couch cushions. It irritated me that someone had the nerve to keep shuffling about behind me whilst I sleep. Irritated, I said, "What the hell? Stop moving around and pushing the cushions about." I craned my neck a bit and noticed the person doing it was my brother. Yet he wasn't my brother. He was a pale little boy with dark circles under his black holes, which I presumed to be his eyes, and it's when my heart stopped. My brother wasn't even home that week. He was with my uncle and cousins sleeping over. My whole world turned black, and the surrounding air felt cold. I tried moving and calling for help, feeling all air leave my lungs, and my heart feeling a burn, as if I'm having a heart attack at that moment. Suddenly my sister came rushing down and said, "Hey, why don't you sleep in my room tonight?" I quickly said yes, and we were walking upstairs. It was then I noticed, why is the house in a darkish blue hue? And since when did my sister invite me into her room, when I'm practically banned from entering, let alone sleeping? It was then that I noticed she'd stopped moving, and was just standing with her back turned to me. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I could feel the tears rolling down my cheeks, and her head slowly turned. And it was no longer my sister with her long brown curly hair, brown eyes, and tanned skin with freckles scattered across her face. No, it was them. A tall, pale-skinned woman who was naked, had red lips, and black, gaping holes serving as her eyes. Her arms extended towards mine, and it's when I felt breath behind me and near my ear that there were more of them. They never spoke, but their actions were deafening to my ears. The stares killed me bit by bit, and I tried to scream for help. I wanted my mum. I wanted my sister. I wanted my brother. Oh dear. I wanted anyone, just away from these pale, bold creatures. Suddenly I woke up, just when I thought I couldn't take it anymore. I woke up. My boyfriend's face inches from mine, asking if I was okay. I was so grateful at that moment for him. I hugged him for the life of it. We were at home in my room. It was 3 a.m. according to the clock near my bed. I was about to ask him what he was doing at my house when I realised my boyfriend is out of the city. He won't be back until next week. My heart dropped cold. The surrounding light turned a darkish blue hue, and the air turned cold. I could see them. I could see them. They were by the window, beside me, in front of me, above me, everywhere. They were there, trying to take me with them. I screamed. I tried screaming. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. I could do nothing, but I didn't want to give in. I don't want to go with them. I couldn't. I wouldn't. My mum found me screaming downstairs in the living room on the couch, with my back arched up and head rolled back, my hands balling into fists as if I'm possessed. And I'm sweating and crying, and she kept trying to wake me up. And I'm so glad she did wake me up by pushing me, because she had verbally done it. I don't think I would have made it. It's been a recurring theme. My sleep paralysis involves these pale white beings that are bulb with big black holes in their faces serving as eyes, and red lipstick. There are men, women, and children, They are always naked, and always reach for me as if trying to grab me and drag me. This always happens when I notice a glitch in my dreams, which don't even seem like dreams, but utter reality. I cannot sleep without praying. I cannot sleep without someone being in the same building as me, for safety purposes. Well, listeners, I sincerely hope you enjoyed the tales that I've brought you this evening. It would be a great pleasure to me if you would like, comment, and subscribe, if you're not already a subscriber. And please wait for me to bring you more tales to alter your perception of how the world may really be. This is Ramblingramm, signing off. Good night, listeners, and sweet dreams.